Hey yo, what is poppin'? It's your boy Fizz and I am bringing you guys the MPL Majors Season 7 Week 2 Team Builder portion of the video, and I'm going up against Reckless Bat, aka Nick, and the Texas Tyrantrums. Now, if you have no idea why I'm recording MPL, well, let me tell you real quick. I'm going to give a little debriefing about why I'm here. So, basically, one day I was yamming with Greg, and he is an admin in the Wi-Fi league that's pretty well known, called the MPL. And he told me, hey, we need a replacement. My man Blue Rogue has some family emergency issues that he needs to deal with, and he has to take a step away from Pokemon for the time being. So we needed a temporary replacement for him for at least the next 2 weeks, so week 2 and week 3. And I'm like, yeah, sure, because at the time I was actually looking for a Wi-Fi upload league just like the MPL. So it was a perfect match, a very good coincidence right there. So I'm really happy to be here, really grateful to Greg for putting me in this position. I'm really excited to play in a Wi-Fi league. I've never played in a Wi-Fi league in my life, so just really excited to see how it works out. And yeah, man, hopefully I can give myself a pretty good record when it's all said and done. And in the end, Rogue has not been shown to be coming online, and Greg decided that we don't want him to be like playing Pokemon and dealing with Draft League and uploads and stuff while he's dealing with his family. So he made me a permanent coach in the MPL Majors. So really excited see what I can do in this league, because we have a lot of really solid players like CJ, Reckless, who's actually like the Season 6 champion from last year. We have a good pal Aaron 2420. We have Root. We have a lot of good coaches, Irish Emerald, Automatic, stuff like that. Coaches of those calibers. So definitely really solid players in the league. In general, just looking forward to see how I perform this season. So yeah, that's enough of that. And yeah, in terms of like what kind of structure my video is going to be in, there's going to be, like usual, a showdown team builder with a matchup on the right side of your screen, and then I'm going to be having somebody record my replay on the DS, since I do not have a capture card. Want as best quality as possible, so I'm getting somebody to record my replay and have them send me the footage, and I'm gonna be recording that as well post com, because I obviously can't do live com. So yeah, that's gonna be the structure of the video. And yeah, I feel like this is also a really good way to grow the channel, because I feel like a lot of people really like Wi-Fi leagues like this. So I know I do. I think they're really cool. So yeah, hopefully this can happen. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys checking the video out, and hopefully I can have a good season. But enough of that. That's a lot of talking. I don't want to waste your time. Anyways, let's just jump right into Nick's team. He has a Mega Gallade, Clefable, Toxapex, Weavile, Zapdos, Lucario, Gastrodon, Meloetta, and the Roselia. Lucario being his only Z-move user. So he has a very good team in my opinion. Mega Gallade, best Mega in the format. Easily. Clefable, broken. Toxapex, broken. Weavile, very annoying to play against. Zapdos, also broken. So yeah, it's 3 broken Pokemon right after the bat. Now I'm playing, but they're really good. I really like them a lot. So he has, his first 5 picks are just incredible. Plus Lucario that can offensively dent any team, and Gastrodon, which is really solid fat. Meloetta and Roselia don't have that big of an impact on his team, but they're pretty good, decent Pokemon. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to talk about my team really quickly. Tapu Lele, Blacephalon, Hawlucha, Excadrill, Mega Tyranitar, Suicune, Cofagrigus, Rotom, Garbodor, and the Shelmet. So my team is basically centralized around the Lele. I have Sand built around it to break the steals, and that's also why Hawlucha exists, and Blacephalon also helps with that as well. But Blacephalon is an interesting mon. I don't really like it that much, but I'm willing to try it for like a couple of weeks. Same thing with Lele. Not really a mon I would draft usually. Like if like better options are available, I'm just gonna definitely take those. I don't really like Lele, but I think it's a good Pokemon anyway. Very tough to switch into. And my fat is pretty good as well. Cofag, Suicune, Rotom, stuff like that. Suicune with Sand is kind of interesting because it cancels out the lefties with the Sand and stuff like that. But overall, I think it's a decent team. I don't really see any big flaws with it in general. But yeah, he picked up a good draft, and I'm allowed to make transactions after week 3. So after week 3, my battle against CJ, you're going to be seeing transactions that I'm making. No spoilers from me. But yeah, I'm going to jump right into the team that I decided to bring against the Season 6 champion, against Reckless Bat. So yeah, right here I have my Excadrill with Life Orb, Sand Rush, SD, Dual Stab, and the Rock Slide. Straightforward set. I really needed Life Orb here to be able to two-shot Gastrodon with Earthquake. So that's definitely necessary in my opinion. I feel like Gastro can definitely come. But either way, this can two-shot literally everything on his team. Zapdos gets two-shot by Rock Slide easily. Everything gets two-shot by something on my team. It's just how he plays around it, which is, like, he can play around the switches like Zapdos into, like, Toxapex, stuff like that. Because I do only have 5 turns of Sand with my Mega T-Tar, which is very limited and unfortunate. But you know what, we're going to have to work with what we deal with here. I outspeed pretty much everything on his team, which is really cool, by buying like a Lucario's Mach Punch or Vacuum Wave, whatever priority it gets. So in general, this thing can perform as a really solid break card and a win con late game. Once Zapdos is gone, I can freely spam Earthquake. So definitely, if I pressure Zapdos good enough, well enough, I can definitely win with Excadrill. Next up, I have my Sand Setter and Mega T-Tar. It has the Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Stone Edge, and the Taunt. Taunt is really good because it prevents Toxapex from setting up T-Spikes. I don't really care if I get burned like that much. It's not really here to wall break or anything, but I do have a lot of attack investment regardless, just because it is nice, but I don't really prioritize offensive pressure. Taunt is also good to prevent like Cosmic Power Clefable Set from like setting up all over me. If he decides to go for the Moonblast, it bounces back because of my ridiculous bulk, and I can also taunt like a Zapdos getting rid of rocks or something like that, Roost stalling me, etc. So in general, taunt is really nice. Spring Edgequake hits everything on his team, which is really nice. Stealth Rock is very necessary for the Zapdos for my Excadrill to put in the most work that it possibly can. So in general, pretty offensive set, a little bit of speed def and a little bit of speed. So pretty decent set here in my opinion. Sets up Sand for my Excadrill, unfortunately only for 5 turns, and gets up Rocks, which is going to be its main job in this matchup. Next up, I have my Kofag. I really needed a Gallade check. This is the best thing I had. It's a pretty decent Mega Gallade check in my opinion anyway, but I have the Colbur Berry, of course. I have Haze, Shadow Ball, Hidden Power Fighting, and the Pain Split. So Haze is there in case he wants to go for like a whack, like Clefable set with Cosmic Power, stuff like that. Don't want to deal with that. Curse Gastrodon is also something that crossed my mind, but I do have a Rotom for that. And anyways, Calm Minding Meloetta is also pretty annoying, so I have Haze for that as well. General Haze is just really good for his team. Shadow Ball obviously with Stab. HP Fighting is good, so I can hit the Meloetta decently hard, and Weavile, I can put a huge dent into that after Rocks, so that's really good. Pain Split for recovery. Don't really have any other recovery options because I don't have lefties or a berry on my Kofag. Well, I do have a berry, but its Colbur Berry doesn't restore my HP, so yeah, Pain Split's really good for that. And yeah, this is going to be my switch into Gallade pretty much always, because I can take 2 neutral knockoffs, and I can also take like a +2 knockoff, which is really good. And I can put a huge dent in it with Shadow Ball. Obviously it doesn't kill because Gallade is naturally fat, but I can put a huge dent in it, put it in range of something like my Lele or something. So yeah, that's what Kofag is going to be here for, and it's a pretty good Gallade check. Next up I have my 0-2 Tapu Lele. I have Calm Mind, Sad Shock, Drain Kiss, and the Iron Defense. So shout out to Chesben for this set. Really like this set. It's kind of heated, but you know, I really dig it. I think it puts in tremendous amounts of work. So my initial thought going into this set and deciding what Lily I should bring, don't really like Choice Scarf because he can pivot like between Toxapex and Weavile every single time. I have to make a 50-50 pretty much all the time, which I'm not a fan of. So didn't really want a choice locked variant of Lele. Maybe Specs, didn't really like that either. But the only thing that gets hit by Moonblast in this scenario is Gallade and Weavile. But my thinking was, if I Iron Defense and they hit me into the Aguav Berry range, I can Drain Punch, wow, Drain and Kiss, get all my health back, kill those threats, and proceed to sweep his team with like Calm Mind. And I have a really solid amount of fat, so I can live like every hit from Gallade, a lot of hits from Pex, Weavile, stuff like that. So I have a lot of investment into that, and really solid special attack investment. And I outspeed everything that I can. Like I can't outspeed the Gallade or max speed Zapdos if he decides to bring that, which is not going to be happening. But yeah, dual dance quote unquote Lele looks really good here, and I think it can be a fantastic win con once things are chipped enough. And one good thing to note is his steel type is a Lucario, so he is actually neutral to my psychic attacks, which is phenomenal. I think that's really good for me. And obviously he can't bullet punch me because of the terrain, so general just a really nice Lele set here. I think it's going to put in so much work here. And yeah, really dig the Lele here. Next up I have the Rotom Choice Scarf. Really wanted something that just outspeed and pressure his team. This looked the best after Gastrodon was gone, and I guess Roselia, I can spam T-Bolt against his entire team which is going to be pretty sick. One thing to note is that Weavile can still Ice Shard me, because I'm going to be levitating above like the Psychic Terrain, so I can still be affected by the Ice Shard. But I am modest, so I can punch holes through a lot of things and serve as a really good win con and a pivot mid-game as well. So yeah, Volt Switch and Thunderbolt Leaf Storm is really all I need. Defog is there in case he decides to set up like T-Spikes or Rocks or something like that that I don't really want, especially not T-Spikes. Definitely don't want those on Pex, or on my team rather. I can defog those away if I need them to. I was considering Trick, but didn't really mind if Toxapex was like recovering up on me, since I do have really solid ways to punish that anyway. So I feel like Choice Scarf Rotom was the best set that I could bring here. Gastrodon is obviously there. I have to make predictions anyway, but you know what? If I can just like chip Gastrodon down, I can put him into the Leaf Storm, etc. And I don't really think he'll be ever staying in with Gastrodon on my Rotom anyway, so don't really have to make a prediction there. So yeah, Rotom puts in a lot of work late game. Same thing with Escadrille. And next up I have my Weavile check. I used to have Buzzwole on my team, except I realized that Blue Rogue made transactions and he dropped the Buzzwole for Blacephalon, which I was really sad about. Love Buzzwole to death. Don't love Blacephalon as much, but Suicune is a really decent Weavile check. Like a +2 knockoff, does put in a lot of work, and I don't really kill it with Scald or anything like that, but I can potentially burn it, and I can stall it out with Toxic Protect, and Roar is really nice in case, again, Clefable runs out of control, which is mainly why I put Roar on there, so I don't get like hard-walled by that thing. So yeah, I didn't really like any other variant of Suicune here. Very tough to bring it, quite honestly, because Pex and Gastrodon are right there, so I can't spam Scald or Toxic like run a Vincoon set or anything like that. So it was a really tough time bringing Suicune, but I don't know if he'll bring both of his waters, quite honestly. I think he'll definitely bring one. Don't know if he'll bring both, but yeah, Weavile check, really good here. Need to preserve this thing as best as possible, just so I can live Weavile hits. But yeah, I really like my team. I really like their Lele set. I think it'll put in work. Same thing that Excadrill performs as a really, really good win con late game. And in general, really excited to be in my first Wi-Fi battle ever. And yeah, man, I'm just really excited to be here, and let's see how I do and jump right into the battle against Nick. And we are here with the battle against Nick, aka Reckless Bat. Good luck, have fun, of course. And again, he is a Season 6 champion, so we definitely got a challenge in our hands. Really looking forward to this battle. Hopefully we can come out on top and not go 0-2, that's the plan. And just saying, I didn't really touch my DS like in like 6-8 months before I played this game, so really get a touch of my DS again, literally get the dust off of it. So yeah, I have an excuse to touch my DS now. But before I get into the battle, I just want to make a couple of shoutouts. Thank you so much for OPJellicent making my thumbnails this season, since I do not have Photoshop. Greatly appreciate his help. And thank you to AARon2420 for genning and recording my game. So shout out to those guys, really appreciate it. I'll leave their links down below, of course. And yeah, the first thing I noticed is that he decided to bring a Roselia, which is fine, but I don't like T-Spikes in my team at all. I really want to lead something to pressure that Roselia out, so that's exactly what I'm going to do here, as I'm going to start playing this battle, and I'm going to plan to lead off with Lele just so I can pressure out like the Pex or the Roselia, because I don't want T-Spikes in my set like I said before. So as you can see, he leads off with the Roselia here, nice and shiny Roselia, which is really cool, and I lead off with my Lele here, so this is really good. I kill him with Psyshock, and if he's like Sash for whatever reason, I can definitely live a Sludge Bomb because I have fat HP stats. And yeah, right here I'm just going to go for the Psyshock. Really don't want him to set up T-Spikes, or at least get up 2 layers of T-Spikes. I don't know what he's going to prioritize, hitting me or T-Spikes, as he reveals to be the Focus Sash item. And he's just going to hit me with a Sludge Bomb, so this is fine. Definitely can take it with my investment because I am ridiculously fat on the HP side. And as you can see, he gets no T-Spikes up with the Roselia, but he decides to keep it and switch out into the Weavile, or the Meloetta rather. So with this damage with the Draining Kiss, he reveals to be AV and very Spadef. So very good information for me to note, and yeah, that's really good for me. I'm just going to switch out here. Really need Lele as a win con here, really works well. And I go out into my Mega T-Tar just to see. I don't think he'll go for the Focus Blast right off the bat. I think he'll go for like a Shadow Ball or anything, but right here he reveals U-Turn. So this kind of reveals more of a set to me. I think he's just going to have Dual Stab, U-Turn, maybe Shadow Ball, or definitely Shadow Ball, I think. So I think I can get a good idea of what his set is, but the problem is he gets a free U-Turn into Mega Gallade, which is not good at all. But I get a little Sand Chip on him, which is pretty pretty spicy. And I'm just going to go into my dedicated check to the Mega Gallade. Can check whether he goes for a knockoff or an SD. I can go into my Cofagrigus here for free. I don't know how you pronounce that thing anyway. Cofagrigus, I don't know. I kind of change the way I pronounce it every single time. But he Mega's up, of course, looking nice and clean. Saitama goes for his Swords Dance right here. So, very okay with this, as he can SD in my face all he wants, and I can hit him very hard with a Shadow Ball as I pop my Cobra Berry. As you can see, he gets chipped even more by Sand. So, really nice chip that I'm getting off on this Gallade if he decides to go for the knockoff, which is exactly what he does as I pop my Cobra Berry. Wow. And as you can see, I'm just going to go for the Shadow Ball here, go to his Inner Focus, which is a broken ability in my opinion. Now I'm playing, but yeah, I just get really good damage off here with the Shadow Ball. That was my intention all along. No hazing or anything like that, no pain split. Just want to get the damage off on this thing. As you can see, that's incredible chip. Put him in range of an Excadrill hit, which is all I want. And right here, I don't have switch into Mega Gallade, so I'm just going to sack Cofagrigus right here. So it did its work, got the chip off of Mega Gallade that I needed. So it did its work. So Kurogiri goes down. So good work there, as he gets buffeted by even more Sandstorm. At this point, he's definitely like not switching into rocks anymore. So I can go into Excadrill, I can go for the Rock Slide here, but instead I go for the Earthquake. Really should have thought about that, because he could have switched into Zapdos, still lost Santurns, and Rock Slide would have been cool, but he sets to sack his Mega Gallade, which is okay by me. Getting rid of that thing is definitely okay by me, as I reveal my Life Orb, so I'm not like banded. And the Sandstorm runs out, unfortunately. So he goes into the Zapdos. Don't want him to Heat Wave my Excadrill to Oblivion. And this is my opportunity to get my rocks with the T-Tar and hopefully win the game with Excadrill late game. So that's going to be my plan here. And if I get up rocks, I kill the Roselia on entry. Not like it was like a big threat anyway, but I can kill that on entry anyways. So that's really cool. As he goes for the Heat Wave right here, as I expected. Didn't really think he'd go for a U-turn there. And right here, he's actually going to get the burn, which sucks. I don't really care about it that much, since again, like if I get burned by Scald or whatever, like I said in Team Builder, don't really mind that. It's just here to get up rocks, help my Excadrill out with the Sand, etc. So yeah, I want to see if he has U-turn or Volt Switch or anything like that. So I'm just going to stay and go for my rocks, of course. So I'm just going to get really nice info to see whether he does have it or not. So he's probably just going to have like an electric move, Heat Wave, Roost, and you can see he has U-turn. So I get an idea of his set right here now that he revealed that. Gets a nice chip on my T-Tar, don't really need the health on the T-Tar. I just need it above rocks damage pretty much to be able to set up the Sand. So right here I'm just going to get up the rocks as he switches in his Roselia to try to sack it off, but he dies to Sand. So really fine by this play. He doesn't really get any big threats in for free. As I get up my rocks, pressure that Zapdos down to the point where it does die to like an Excadrill hit potentially, and a Lele hit. So yeah, T-Tar did his job already, got up rocks, and I just need to keep it a little longer for the Excadrill late game. As he switches into the Weavile, he can potentially knock me out with an Ice Cold Crash or a low kick, whatever he decides to go for. But either way, I'm just going to switch into my Suicune here, the dedicated check to this thing. Can burn it, Toxic, whatever I want to do. So that's exactly what I'm going to do as I go to my Weavile and or my Suicune, and he goes for the low kick. So that was the best case scenario. Didn't think he would knock off there anyway, so this was the correct play every single time. And right here, I don't think he's going to stay in ever as I get my lefties. And yeah, I'm going to get pretty full with my Suicune anyways, as he makes a switch out into his Meloetta right here. So pretty fine play on his end as I go for my Scald right here. Well, wanted to burn something. If it was a Pex coming in, I can just burn that thing, remove it from the game pretty much. I don't think I'll have T-Spikes since his Roselia probably let it and had T-Spikes. So I was fine with burning the Toxapex on entry, but he decides to go into the Meloetta, which is fine by me. Getting chip on this thing is going to be incredible. As I go for the Protect here, scout out what move he wants to go for, if he wants to go for U-turn, Psychic, or whatever. But he reveals a Charge Beam, which is very interesting to me. So this reveals that he doesn't have one of his stab moves, because I feel like he has to have Shadow Ball in order to be a check to Lele, which this is obviously the point of the Meloetta. As he goes for the Hyper Voice, predicting to switch out potentially, but I stay in, don't really need health on the Suicune that much. And even if he goes for a Charge Beam, I can live like any Weavile hit afterwards. And again, I pressured out with the Rocks and Scald, etc. And I get residual chip on this Meloetta, which is really good for me. So Juvia is going to be staying nice and healthy as this Meloetta gets chipped for my Lele in the back. So Lele becomes a really good win con once the Meloetta is chipped enough. So really like that idea. And he goes into his Zapdos, going to take a nice Rocks chip. And right here, I am just going to go into my Lele because I really don't think that he will stay in on the Meloetta. get him more chip, and I don't want him to get rid of my rocks with the Zapdos. So I'm just going to go into the Zapdos, or into the Lele right here, and this is a perfect opportunity to set the Calm Mind, because whatever he wants to go for, like a Volt Switch or here the U-turn, if he wants to go for an electric move right here, I Calm Mind in his face, and he pops my Guava Berry, and I proceed to get a lot of health back. The Draining Kiss, etc. cycle begins. He switches into his Meloetta, and this reveals to be not like max special attack. So if I get to +2 Spadef with my HP investment, I can actually get in range of the Guava Berry right here and proceed to like kind of snowball him as he gets even more chipped by the Toxic Poison. So Suicune's Poison really coming in clutch there. Go for the other Calm Mind right here, try to get in range of the Guava Berry, and kind of crossing my fingers that I don't get crit here. That would be, I would cry on the spot, and I would forfeit the non-play. But yeah, he goes for a Shadow Ball, does approximately 2 damage, and I pop my Guava Berry, and yeah, I get to a really, really nice amount of health. I live everything from Weavile at this point, which is going to be really good. And at this point, I'm just going to go for my Draining Kiss. Maybe Psyshock was better, I don't really know. I really thought Draining Kiss would kill, but yeah, it lives on a sliver, which is sad. I cried at this point, but he dies to Poison, which is fine. But he goes for U-turn right here, so that's fine by me because he dies to Entry with the rocks, etc. So I'm fine with that, really. And he gets a slow U-turn out into the Weavile. Again, I live everything at this point since I am like stupid fat on my Lele, which is really good. Didn't really get a chance to Iron Defense up, but either way, I live everything from the Weavile. So right here, he's going to go for the Icicle Crash, and as long as I don't get flinched here, I can Draining Kiss and get all my health back and proceed to pretty much win the game. And I know that I never died to that. I knew it wasn't Adamant, I knew it wasn't Bandit or Life Orb, judging by the damage on the Suicune before, so I always lived that no matter what. Draining Kiss that thing, remove it from the game, and even if the Psychic Terrain ends, I kind of kill everything with the Psychic, with the Psyshock rather right now. So the Zapdos is going to end up dropping to the Lele, and all he has in the back is the Meloetta at like 0%, pretty much it dies to Hazards, and the Toxapex, which obviously dies to the Lele hit. So yeah, Lele is going to be ending the game with a really nice late game clean. So yeah, really good set. I didn't really get a chance to use my Iron Defense in this game, and unless it was Payapa Berry on Pex, then he obviously lived, or then he died rather, is English, that's English. But yeah, really good game to Nick here. He's going to die to Entry Hazards with his Meloetta. So yeah, Lele doing all the kinds of work in this matchup. 0-2, the ultimate waifu, of course. So yeah, man, GG's to Nick. Feels really good starting off MPL with a 5-0 victory over the champion. So yeah, good stuff there. And yeah, that's gonna be it for me. We are moving now to 1-1 at the moment, and we're now, what's our differential? +3, I believe. +3, I believe. And yeah, pretty good so far. We're pretty up there in the conference standings because of my really solid differential. So really excited about that. And next week I am going up against Choi CJ, a guy that I looked up to in the Wi-Fi community pretty much. So really excited to be able to play him finally. I've been known to beat my fellow PokeTubers like A-Drive, 6-Foot Hacks. I've beat them. So hopefully I can continue my YouTuber, PokeTuber slaying streak right here in week 3 of the MPL. So yeah, again, GG's to Nick. I'll be sure to leave his links down in the description below. Check him out. Really good dude, and definitely a solid Pokemon battler. So yeah, definitely do me a favor and go check him out. And yeah, again, thanks for checking me out. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. It means the world to me. And like always, have a swell day. Peace.